dream that spells tomorrow. Another generation's coming on. I see America working harder every day to educate her people to live a better way. Now, wouldn't you like to feel another shoulder at the wheel? If you help me toe the line, I'll pull your weight and I'll pull mine. We want to give our best, please understand. We're not asking for a handout, just a hand. Thank you. Now, some of you might say, why is she singing that old song Leontine Price sang for the UNCF way back in the day? It's because Leontine Price inspired me. The UNCF inspired me by having her sing that. I had no idea of what an African-American soprano could do. I didn't know. I was a young girl then, running through the house singing that, oh, doing all this. Had no idea what that was going to spark in me. You see, today, I don't have quote-unquote notes. I just have experiences to share with you and what the arts in Indianapolis has done for me and my career. I was born and raised here. My mother was an artist. Some of you may have seen her in Glendale Mall when it was an enclosed mall. She was the lady that would sit out at a little kiosk with portraits that she would do by photograph, and she was always in some Afrocentric garb. Anybody see my mama, Freddie Brown? That was my mama. That was my mama. That was my heart. Well, I lost her and my father this year, but it was because of them, last year I should say, but it was because of them that I'm here today in the arts community, because my mother would take me and my two brothers to Starlight Musicals. Anybody remember Starlight Musicals? Hey! Our treat was to go to Sam's Subway. Y'all remember Sam's Subway? Have a corned beef sandwich and one of those pickles, child, and then go to Starlight Musicals. And I saw so many different musical performances there. And if it wasn't, I mean, then my father, he was always the one that would, he was the one, the straight one. Let's say he was the straight man, and my mama was the one with the flair, okay? And so my daddy would, you know, look into the papers and say, well, Angie, you know, they're auditioning for this or they're auditioning for that. You should go out and audition for that. And that's how I ended up auditioning for Raisin, which was the musical version of Raisin in the Sun at Civic Theater. And Sandra Gay was the director of that back in the day, in the 80s. We're just going to say the 80s cheering. And so I got a chance to really hone my artistic bones here in Indianapolis. Because if it wasn't for the Civic Theater, if it wasn't for IRT, if it wasn't for the Indianapolis Opera, which in 1983 I was in the chorus of Aida, I still had no idea what the Lord had in store for me later on down the way with my Ethiopian prince, Mr. Billy Myers. Where's Mr. Billy in here? Yeah, I'm calling out names today, baby. Ah, boo boo. He was my Ethiopian daddy. Yes, he was in that. And I remember Monica Cantrell. All these names you have heard, they are in the arts because of what they experienced here in Indianapolis. I went through school to school and in the IPS public school system. So I went to school 76. I went to Mapleton Fall Creek, and then I ended my matriculation here at Crispus Attucks High School. Yes, woohoo! Yes. Hoosier through and through. And during all of that, I was in the arts, not knowing that I was always and forever reaching for my destiny, reaching for the dreams that spell tomorrow. And so I did a lot of musical theater when I was at Crispus Attucks High School. I remember being, my first opportunity to be in a musical there was Jesus Christ Superstar, and Mr. Robert Fleck, who was my music teacher there, he gave me my first voice lessons and actually had me singing my first aria, which was, "He shall feed his flock like a shepherd." I mean, I was a mezzo back then, back in the day. And I did a lot of statewide soprano solo competitions at that time. I don't know what they call them now, but I would always win, and I would sing that same tired song, child. It would always bring it in. I didn't care. And then I disappeared off the scene for a while, and a lot of people wondered where I was, and I showed up in an audition for the Indianapolis Opera's version of Porgy and Bess.